In this video, I'm going to share a few strategies for how to approach an interview that can set you up for success. This is based on the feedback we've gotten a lot from hiring managers, as well as the information that we share with candidates to prep them for interviews. Now, before you go into the interview, it's important to get as much additional info as possible about the role and the profile that the team is looking for. It's not always evident in a job description exactly what this person will be doing or exactly what the challenges are that they'll be solving. And it's not always evident, exactly what profile the team is looking for specifically. So it can be really helpful to get some of that additional context prior to the interview. At 180, we always share a role insights document with candidates that summarizes the notes and information from our calls with the team and the hiring manager that outlines specifically, what the person will be doing, what they'll be solving, and the specific skills that the team is looking for to solve those things. Now, if you're working with a recruiter, you can definitely ask for that additional information from them. And if you're not working with a recruiter, you can always ask the hiring manager or the person that you're interviewing with for some additional information on anything they'd like to dig into specifically in the interview. Now, it's always helpful to know a little bit about the person that you'll be interviewing with as well. I suggest going onto LinkedIn and looking at their profile, maybe seeing if you have some shared connections or something similar or something in common, whether that's maybe you went to the same school or are from the same part of the country, whatever it is. It's nice to have something that can connect you when you go into the interview. Again, that's something you can always ask from the recruiter you're working with in terms of more info about the person or their background. At 180, we always provide a prep call, and in that call, we'll typically go through the person's personality and background that the candidate will be interviewing with, as well as some additional info on the company and just kind of a refresher on everything. You can certainly ask for that from the recruiter that you're working with. Or again, you can always ask the person that you're going to be interviewing with just, for some additional context or specifics on what they'd like to focus on going into that. Once you're in the interview, there's a few things you can do to set yourself up for success. The first is to stay high level. A lot of times, if we get negative feedback on interview performance, it's because the person didn't answer the question clearly or concisely, or they rambled. And this is a lot of times the case when someone has an inability to stay high level and give an overview. So I always suggest first giving the 10,000 foot view and then going down into the specifics. And I definitely suggest informing the person that you're interviewing with that you'll be giving them the 10,000 foot perspective, but that they can drill down into the specifics of anything they'd like more information about as you go along. That allows you to provide an overview without having to go super deep, and it allows them to get to pick the specifics that they'd like more information on. The other thing that you can do to help you stay high level and help you answer questions more clearly is to practice before the interview. A lot of times the rambling happens because we're trying to think about it as we're trying to say it. So I always suggest writing down your career history and organizing it on paper first. And I have another video that I'll go through a specific formula and a specific way to organize that information that'll help you keep it organized and keep it concise. But just know that spending some time writing down the information and practicing it will go a long way.